Today, we are going to talk about how safe really is your crypto. What if I tell you that there is chance that your crypto coins might be taken by someone else, even if it's in your cold, hard wallet, locked with a password, buried underground in a cave on an uninhabited island? To understand how is that possible, we need to learn about what is a crypto wallet and how does it all work. Here's what the process of creating a crypto wallet looks like nowadays. You download a crypto wallet application. Click on Create a Wallet, and you get 12 words to remember. You are also notified that if someone else will get their hands on these words, they will be able to take everything from your wallet. These words you need to write down and hide where no one will ever find it. In most cases, however, that includes yourself. If you lose your device and want to get back the access to your wallet, after installing the Crypto Wallet app on your newly bought device, you are going to click on Restore a Wallet, where you type your words and see the balance of your Dink Donk and Zoo coins again. And it doesn't even have to be the same application. But how does it work, you might ask? Do they all have a shared list of all the accounts with their balances? Well, here's the full picture of what's going on behind the scenes. Let's take Bitcoin, for example. Bitcoin is simply a chain of blocks. Each block is just like a text file with information on transactions happened. First address sent 10 bitcoins to the second, the third sent 1 bitcoin to the fourth, and the fifth address got freshly new bitcoins for mining. So where do these addresses come from? Every single application does exactly the same thing when creating a wallet. It generates a random number. This number is thrown into an algorithm that generates a unique private key. From there, you throw this private key into another algorithm and get yourself a public address that you can share around, and people can send you money to this address. These algorithms are using cryptography in such a way that you can generate a public address from a private key, but not vice versa. There's no way to use your public address and generate back your private key from it. That's why you can safely share it around. And the only thing people can do with it is to send their assets to it. Only the owner of the wallet that has the private key can spend the coins on these addresses now. This private key can now be thrown into another algorithm to generate a signature. Owner sends the request for a transaction to the blockchain, saying, I want to send this much Bitcoin from this address to that address, and to prove that I am the real owner, here's my signature. All the computers in the network look at the address and the signature, and through their computations all agree that, yes, this is the real owner of this address. He can send these coins from that address. And they post into the block, where the information about this transaction stays forever and anyone can see it anytime they want. Prior to 2014, this number from which it all generates, called secret exponent, was the thing that you had to save somewhere on the hard drive. For sure, you could write down this nonsense to keep your assets, but it was pretty unlikely you could remember and keep it in your head. However, in early 2014, a system was introduced to represent this secret number in words. It was decided to use 2,048 specific words, where each one would correspond to a specific number. Now it got much easier for a normal humanoid to remember how to access his monkey NFTs. From this secret seed, you can generate keys and addresses not only for Bitcoin, but for any cryptocurrency at all. If you want to see your Ethereum addresses, you just throw the same seed into the Ethereum algorithms. Same thing for Solana, etc. They all just have their own algorithms to turn your secret exponent in their own keys and addresses. What we need to understand here is that there is no list of all the created wallets and their respective addresses. Blockchain doesn't know who created what wallet. You can create a wallet completely offline by just taking any random words or a number and turn them into crypto addresses. If you want to check your balance, you basically search through all the history of transactions on the blockchain if that address was mentioned in any transactions. If you have just created this address based on a random number, it won't find any history of it on the blockchain and show you a zero balance. When I've learned about the way it all works, I asked myself, so basically I could just type my own random words from that word list, and that's going to be my wallet. However, it turned out that only first 11 out of 12 words can be random. The last one is called a checksum, and it has to be one of 128 words calculated based on previous 11. Let's try it now. I take any random words, generate possible last words, and use one of them. We can see that it thinks that we already had it and just restored it. but in fact we just made it up the same way it randomly makes it up when you click on Create button. Now, based on these words, it generated addresses to various blockchains and checked if those addresses took part in any transactions and have any balance, which is 0. When I delete this wallet, since I've never used these addresses in any transactions, no one will ever know that this wallet was ever created, and someday this combination might be randomly generated by someone. It might happen in 100 years or never happen. Let's try another combination. Let's just change the last word and see what happens. Another restored wallet that was never used before. In other words, all the wallets theoretically already exist, but let's say the first word in the 2048-word list would be the most predictable. Surely someone tried to use the first word repeatedly to make a wallet. However, just like before, we can only use first 11 words randomly, and the last one we will have to calculate. We get this mnemonic seed with words abandoned and a word about in the end. Let's see what wallet it will open. It turns out this wallet are getting used by everyone since it's so easy to guess. Right now, we have the full control over this wallet. Next thing that came to my mind is that anyone could just constantly go through these combinations till they find the one that opens a wallet that was already used by someone and has a positive balance. It didn't take me long to write a simple script for my old phone to do just that. It is in a loop of creating a random wallets, looking at the balance, and if it's 0, deleting it and starting all over with different words. In theory, you could leave it there laying around and go through random wallets non-stop. One wallet takes about 20 seconds to check, which is 130,000 wallets per month. It looks cool, but let's see if there's another faster way. I searched the internet for the crypto brute force programs and found out that most of them are complete scam. They claim to make you rich in a couple of days and seem to work so fast, it seems like it goes through thousands of addresses in seconds. However, all they do is show you word combinations real quick and make money on people who buy into it. To actually check balances at this rate, you would need to run your own blockchain explorer locally. It requires terabytes of fast SSD storage and enough computational power to run through all that data to figure out the balance of each address. Current Bitcoin node is more than 700 gigabytes, and it would take a couple of minutes to scan it for a balance of one address. Every legitimate brute force program uses third-party blockchain explorers, and their speed is limited to the internet connection and the rate they can send requests to the servers. The best legit program I could find so far is you can see every address it generates and compare it to the certified application. Let's do it on this wallet. Great, it matches up and we know it's not a fraud. The program does the same thing as any other common crypto wallet applications when you press Create Wallet, but non-stop and at a high speed. If you've watched this video this far, you might have already started to carry out the plan of getting these programs and in a couple of days becoming a gazillionaire. This takes us to the most interesting part of the video. Let's look at the chances of finding someone else's wallet. We talked about 12-word seeds, but I didn't mention that the most secure addresses use 24-word seeds. Let's say the first word could be one of 2,048 words. Second is the same, so is the third, etc. In the end, for 12-word seed, we get 2 in the power of 128 various combinations. This is roughly 34 and 37 zeros. Let's say Bitcoin has 1 billion used addresses already. That increases the chances of stumbling upon at least one used wallet. Now, if I run brute force program on a couple of devices for a year, I can go through roughly 1 billion addresses. Let's divide that out. Now we see our chances of finding at least one Bitcoin address if we run our program nonstop for a whole year. Considering that the chance to win a jackpot in a lottery is 1 in 300 million, the chances of finding at least one used address on Bitcoin blockchain in a year is like winning jackpot twice in a row. I mean, if you win once, then miss one day and win again afterwards, that won't count already. And this was the weakest 12-word security. As I've already mentioned, the most secure wallets, including the early-era Bitcoin and those hard-cold wallets, all of them use 24-word phrases. This gives us additional 38 zeros to our chances of finding anything. At the same time, as the time goes by, more Bitcoin addresses are being used. This means every year the chances of guessing someone's wallet key increases. In theory, at some point, these chances might become significant, especially for 12-word phrase wallets. If cryptocurrency will keep getting more popular, these chances might come close to winning jackpot in a lottery just once. But compared to the lottery, you don't have to pay for a ticket. All you need is to download the app and keep it running in the background. It doesn't require an expensive hardware, and this process almost doesn't consume energy. With the use of VPNs, one can run unlimited instances of the program, going through millions of addresses daily. When people realize that they can have this free lottery ticket, who wouldn't want to try their luck? Let's say 1 billion people will run these types of programs on their computers. That will make the chances of at least one person getting access to someone else's account less than winning a jackpot, which was proven to be possible hundreds of times around the world. And we just looked at the Bitcoin addresses. Simultaneously, people can scan wallets for multiple of cryptocurrencies, which is going to increase those chances drastically. Now let's talk about the legality and ethics of it. There is nothing criminal about generating addresses from random word seeds and checking corresponding balances. Blockchain is completely public, and everyone has access to it. But what if you've stumbled upon a wallet that has a bunch of bitcoins on it? You have accidentally guessed those 12 words and obtained full control over these funds. What's next? The right thing to do, of course, is to leave those coins in the wallet, as you weren't the one who put them in there. However, how many of us wouldn't be tempted to use these funds and quit McDonald's once and for all? The only thing tying the owner to the wallet is the secret key, and since you also have it now, this wallet is as much his as it is yours. Many of those scam brute force programs justify spending the funds of potentially found wallets by pretending they are all long lost and forgotten. If you don't spend it, no one will, since the real owner has lost the seed phrase or the hard drive with the secret exponent. But can you really tell if that wallet is really lost? It doesn't have any information on the owner to contact and ask him. You can check the history of transactions of that address and see when the last transaction was made. However, even if the last transaction happened 10 years ago, what if the original owner left these coins here as a long-term investment? In some blockchains, you can send a message with a transaction, but the real owner might not even see it. Let me know in comments what would you do in this scenario. Also, if you find the video interesting, please like and subscribe while you're at it. I believe one thing to do would be sending a big portion of those newly found assets to another address and wait. If the original owner still has the access to the wallet, at some point he will notice the loss, and in an attempt to save his fortune, will send the rest of it to another wallet or exchange. If that happens, you will know that this wallet is not lost and forgotten, and the right thing to do is to return everything back to original address. No one will ever know who was behind those transactions. That's an honest and honorable way to handle this situation. Just imagine that is someone's life savings or kid's college fund. However, what happens if you decide to keep and use those assets yourself? Let's say the real owner reports this to police. It is possible to prove he is the original owner by providing the receipts of him buying those coins through a crypto exchange. They will be able to track the movements of the lost funds on the blockchain. Unless you use crypto mixers, once you will try to withdraw those assets via KYC crypto exchange, your name will be tied to these stolen coins, and you will be in trouble. At the same time, if the original owner doesn't have the receipt of purchasing those coins through a legitimate crypto exchange, there is no way he can claim it and do anything about it. This could happen also if he mined these coins. Since there would be no traces of anyone hacking into his devices or robbing him out of his secret phrase, there would be no way to prove he is the original owner. At least that's what I think. Let me know if I'm missing something here in the comments. Let's imagine another situation. Some coins are already being tracked by FBI as they are tied to shady deep web marketplaces, crypto hacks, or other illegal activities. All they do is waiting for someone to claim that crypto, and it's going to be a nightmare to prove you had nothing to do with that once you try to withdraw it. Those are just some instances I could think of. This topic is so new and undiscovered that I guess we will have to wait and see what the future is going to look like and if that is going to become an issue in the crypto world. I would love to hear your opinion and point of view on that in the comments section. There is so much to discuss.